Hi, I'm Jerome. I come from Paris. I'm really excited to be here. It's my first time meeting Ian, Chris, and many people. And if I have interacted with you online, I'd really like to meet you in person. So Ian asked me, could you please show some cool stuff tonight? And of course, I can do it all day. So I'll restrict to a few projects so others can do that. Okay, right.
Yellow.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't work so well. Give me a hand, right? What do I need to do here? So
Or attached to another display or whatever.
Yeah, but you know, there's two people that go faster.
You're on. Yeah, there.
Yeah, that should be okay.
You're running the daylight changing, color changing app in the video bar, Flux?
Yeah, but this
Next
too.
one over.
Yeah, so let's see. So that before, as I try to get this shaped, so that's visualization I've done based on the book Game of Thrones. That's any self-respecting big knows. And what I was doing was, as I was reading the books, I captured all the events that were happening, like which character were introduced, who get boom, etc. And so I could animate it. And so this visualization shows all the stuff which are happening. So here it goes really fast, so there's no spoiler, and I'm not going to play it until the end, but then you can go and explore and do one stuff and see what happens to them, and like this and like that. So that was one project, and which was quite successful, but a bit grim. So I thought I would show you a happier project that not a lot of people have seen, because those were the greeting cards that I sent for the new year. And I only sent those greeting cards to the people with whom I communicated a lot, because it's based on the emails we exchanged. So here's the one I sent to Scott here. And so, if it works, right. So basically, I took all those emails and tweets that we exchanged with Scott and found some words that defined those emails, and did that. So we could, reminisce fondly our conversation. Changes. So that was pretty nice. I like doing that as opposed to visualizing people killing each other.
What is the blurry part of it?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to see on the screen. He says I said, and he said you said, because that's what Scott says goes like this, and what I say goes like this. So for the record, in October, Scott and I presented this week tutorial at This Week in Seattle. And by the way, we're going to do that again at Strata next Tuesday. So if you're going to Strata, please come to our show. And if you're not going to Strata, it's going to be recorded, right? So I think.
Sure.
Right. The next one I can show is actually the first history project that I made. It was for a contest, for a David McCandless contest about the IMDb data set. And so we had a bunch of movies, a few thousand actually, to visualize, and we had to show interesting stuff about them. So I did that with a girl called Jen Law, and so it's basically a scatter plot. But with this three, it can be a more fun scatter plot, with stars moving and animation and stuff rolling in. And if we move over, there's more stuff. You can click on any star that represents a movie and get some information and do all kind of fun things.
What are the axes?
Yeah, this one, it's profitability, that is how much money they made by how much money it costs to make. And this one is a Rotten Tomato score, but you can change them. So we can do stuff like this and obviously those. That kind of stuff. Right, so it's been done last year, so it's not, you won't have the most recent release. And the last project I'm going to show today is the latest, which has been published. It went out today, actually. 2 weeks ago, I was having dinner with some visualization friends. And we found out that we were all working on projects with bubble charts and force layout. So here's mine. I'm showing it because it's really typical of the things that we freelance visualizers are asked to do. It's a bubble chart, and when you click on the stuff, the bubbles move. But actually, I have another reason to show it because so this specific application is about how much bandwidth various applications or various malware represent. And in that data set, there's a lot of what you guys are doing here in San Francisco. So you can find yourself if you look at some bubbles. Like, well, the bigger ones are for some specific technology, but if you look at, I don't know.
Can you use the microphone a little bit more?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so if you look at, for instance, social networking here, I guess you have LinkedIn, Anita, and I don't know, Facebook here, Tumblr, Extra. So I'll stop here to see the rest of my stuff. So I'm JQ here on Twitter, and that's the most concise way to show what I have. It's got links to my sites and everything. All right, thanks a lot.
So, hi, I'm Jyri Tuulos. I'm a co-founder at bayd3, and bayd3 is a platform for that makes it really easy to create custom analytics. And so we basically are in the same field as Google Analytics, Mixpanel, Kissmetrics, those kind of existing tools. You might have heard of them. And the thing is, why we wanted to build bayd3 is that those tools are great, and they're great for the basic analytics. But that's also the stuff that everybody else is using. And nowadays, data is the thing that really makes a difference in business. So we wanted to build a tool, a platform that makes it really easy to get the metrics you really want with your data and your code. And also make it so easy that there's no need to learn Hadoop or these big data stuff. It's really just a small bunch of experts that know the stuff. So this is bayd3, and let me show how we use D3 today in our production. So the first thing when I log into bayd3 is this bunch of dashboards. So each of these things here in the list is a different dashboard showing different data, different metrics, and like typically is usage data, or it's data from other services such as customer support, billing systems, stuff like that. And we can show time series, and this is all D3. Or we can show just a simple status of the application. And like a real life example would be like that something that can be done with Google Analytics, for example, is looking for active users. So here's a chart of all the people, over all the people, and how many active sessions they've had. So there's a lot of people that just visited the site or the mobile app just once, and there's less people who have come again. And this is the interesting stuff that businesses want to know. So why did they come back? And under the chart, there's a list of events that correlate with the activity. So it really answers why these users come back, what do the really active users do, and this might help make the product better. So this is what we do. And really the core of bayd3 is that you can customize everything. We have this dashboard of all the charts we have nowadays. There's a map, there's a line chart, there's a bar chart, there's some user-specific stuff, and there's basic tables. And the nice thing about this is that you can edit it straight in the browser. And on the other side, there's a Python script. It's plain Python. And on the other side, there's the dashboard. And the nice thing about this is that because it all works in the browser, we can change the dashboard right in there. So, for example, this bar chart is defined here in the code. We can change the size, run the script, and it changes right here. And so one of the key benefits also for us, for D3, is that it generates the same kind of markup that the other JavaScript frameworks do. So D3 creates SVG, the other tools make HTML or something, and we can style it all with CSS. So this is a nice trick. We have a set of themes, color themes for these dashboards, and we can just change it here in the code. Whoops. And run the script. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And here we go. Different theme for the same, it's rendered with the same code. There's just a different CSS file for the visualizations. So, and we actually we pre-compile these from less style sheets if you know how they work. So, and all this is actually binded with Backbone. So as we got a question earlier about binding these with frameworks, we actually have all these charts as different Backbone views. So if somebody's interested about our approach on that, and then if we're organizing a meetup later, I'm happy to contribute with our approach. And this is happening right now. We have the site live, so if you want to check it out, the best way actually is to get our badge and put it on your GitHub account. So if you have an awesome D3 project or anything, you should have it on GitHub for everybody to see. And if you want to see how many people visit the repo, so you can put our badge and get the traffic data straight to bayd3. And you'll also get a free bayd3 account. So that's our offer for all the developers out there. And so if you have any questions, you can come ask me or contact us at Twitter or just shoot us an email. Thank you very much.
Hi, so my name's Alex Johnson. Just wanted to share with you guys a project I've been working on for the last 6 months or so. It's called Plotly, and the idea is more or less a full data analysis and visualization framework in the browser. Kind of a modern replacement for tools like MATLAB or R that allows you to drop files right in. We'll try to plot them without you even doing anything else besides dropping them in. And then once you have a graph that you like, you can customize it all right there, send it out to your friends or collaborators, or post it on a website as an interactive visualization. We've got the whole thing built in SVG with D3 running it. It's been a really powerful and a great framework for us to use. Right now, we're just getting started, so it's we've got a range of scatter plots and things that you can make. We're still working on adding other kinds of visualizations, but it's free to check out, and I'd love to get any feedback from all you developers and visualizers out there.
It's awesome. Where can I get it?
Plot.ly. Just go take a look.
Do you have anything that works with like IPython?
Yeah, so it's not IPython per se, but there is a Python Python console that you can use, and you can write Python scripts, do your analysis of your data and simulations.
Is that on the browser?
Yeah, it's all. I mean, the Python is running on the server side.
Were you implying that you can solve differential equations before the plot?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can, anything you can write up in Python if you want to solve a differential equation or any other sort of, simulation on your data or whatever, it can go straight into these plots.
How large a data set can it handle?
That's something we're working on right now. At the moment, it can handle something like, something modest like 10,000 points in a plot. But we have some pathways to get that up to 1 million.
Can I use it with R?
We've been thinking about that actually. A lot of people have. I've actually never used R. I've grown up with Python, but we've been considering integrating R as another command line option. Yeah. Great.
I'm one of people. I used to be a research scientist with Nokia for more than 16 years, and then came some reorganization, and I got into visualization. I have a small studio, design studio with a friend and former colleague. We call it Marzipan. The focus areas where we are doing projects are experiment sharing, interaction design, and visualization. I'm not going to talk much about the first two ones, except that experiment sharing, we will at some point get into the visualization. This originates from some earlier research project. That's a story of a person for a 7 days period, and we could interact with that visualization, that spherical setup with speech interface, 3D gestures with the phone. We could go into that story and see the details. So this is again something what we try to focus on in the future. I'm going to talk about a bit couple of projects what we've done lately in the visualization domain. Actually, I've done 12 years ago my first visualization. This was a Nokia corporate dial at 6,000 phone calls, and we wanted to see that how it performs in terms of the speech recognition accuracy and what people accomplish. So all these interactions went through, and they connected to the right person. It was a relatively large implementation with some 23,000 names. And all the rest of the interaction, they were rejected, or the users had to make a new trial. The two most recent projects, this is, it's interesting, life is interesting. I've been working in the interaction area with wireless sensor networks, and now working with a non-profit organization, former colleagues from UCLA. So this is about acoustic data visualization. And what they have on the California coast, they have sensor stations, and those stations are mobile phones. So what they are doing, those mobile phones, they are just recording the sound, that sound. And what researchers are interested in, are there birds or not? They are not really interested at that point, what are those birds? And basically, what we are doing, we are accumulating, this is for a year data, 17 deployments, and each deployment has some 5 to 20 stations, and again, those stations are mobile phones. I have some offline data here, so I'm not sure it's working properly, but if we click on it, we get to one deployment. Let's see all those data. And there are the stations. Sorry, I was wrong. So this deployment, actually it's on Hawaii. the rest are in California coast. Another project, so again, we are just really quite new again to this visualization domain. So the only other thing I can show here is the outcome of a recent hackathon at Stanford. Have you ever wondered these hackathon projects and challenges where they are going? So this is a visualization with some data from Kaggle and different topics, healthcare, social, transportation. What's happening here is that we are showing the temporal progress on this challenge clock. The radius shows that how much time is left, 6 months, 4 months, 2 weeks, nothing. And on the sphere basically is the percentage, 25%, 50%. So you start always here and you end up there. And the size is related to the number of teams. It's still in progress. What we try to do here is showing also the relation to the prices and who won and what is the most popular topic or area where people are participating. So that's it. Feel free to check out on the website. There are a couple other projects also. Happy to answer questions.
So this is just one visualization because I thought I need to stick to 2 minutes. But my name is Amelia, and I'm the data scientist at Future Advisor, which is a company that automatically manages all your existing investment accounts to try to maximize your returns, of course. And so a lot of my job is just in IPython notebook with pandas, looking at all this massive data that we have and trying to figure out what we can learn from it. And then some blog posts and visualizations come out of that. So this is one that I just wanted to share because I thought it was kind of crazy. Everybody thinks that if you, the more people are in your company in your 401k plan, the better a deal you'll get. But it's actually only true up to about 1,000 participants, and after that, and this kind of went further on, but I cut it off because the government plan has 4 million people in it, and so you kind of get a crazy scale if you don't do that, and I haven't learned swimming yet. So basically, this is the number of people in the plan, and these are the fees paid annually if you invest, because when you buy some mutual fund, you have an expense ratio. So what I found was that New York Life Insurance Company has an expense ratio of 0.82% across all of their options. And so if you're investing in your 401k, you have to buy kind of expensive plans, whereas Adobe has an expense ratio of 0.23. And so if you are investing, if your account balance is $75K, then people at Adobe are paying $200K and people at New York Life are paying $200, and people at New York Life are paying over $600 for the same thing. So the only other difference that we could come up with was just that once a company is about 1,000 people, then it all comes down to the HR department negotiating. So if you have a bad deal on your plan, if the options that are available to you are really expensive, you should go to your HR department and be we should go try to negotiate for better fees. So that was all. I just thought it was kind of cool. This was my first big giant one that I made a few weeks ago. So hopefully I'll have more to contribute in the future.
So I'm Mike Travers. I work at, I do scientific visualization, or scientific information processing. This is a visualization that has nothing to do with my day job. This was just a sort of a D3 experiment I did, so very much in the spirit of trying to figure out what I could do as a learning project. So I had a particular question I wanted to answer, which is just what's the correlation between population density and the voting Democratic or Republican? So this is basically a scatter plot of counties. The horizontal scale is the population density. It's a log scale, and I'm using D3's nice little automatic log scale thing. And the vertical axis is the percentage voting Democratic. And this is using pretty much basic D3 stuff without any invention, except I managed to hook up, connect the geographic view and the scatter plot view. That took a little bit of doing, and that lets you, investigate some questions like, you want to see how a particular region is voting, you can do things like that. So, and there's some interesting things showed up, like, so it's pretty much, as you can see, it's a nice correlation. Denser you go, the more blue you get. That's not a very big surprise. I kind of knew, but then there's things like here's some low density areas that are very blue. Those turn out to be mostly Indian reservations or counties where there's rural counties with a large Hispanic population. So a few things jumped out. Anyway, so that's about it. This was my second D3 project, and I was pretty impressed by how you could do a lot with a little. Yeah.
What's the radius of the circle? Yeah.
Oh, that's the actual population. So the position is density, but the actual population is the area of the circle. So these are like the big coastal cities for the most part. And then there's a few here's a big, somewhat dense Republican area that turns out to be Salt Lake City. Surprise, surprise. So fun. Any other questions?
Okay, I'm Santiago Ortiz. I do not use D3. I just told that to Scott, and I won't forget his face. But paraphrasing Chomsky, he will say that if a Martian goes here, visit us on the Earth, and see the work of every of us working in data visualization projects, the Martian will say that we are all using the same framework, with which is described in the grammar of graphics. And the genius of D3 is his elegance and beautiful correlation with the grammar of graphics, which is the actual framework we use, the actual knowledge. Okay? So at the end of the day, we are using the same language, going through the same kind of process. Okay? No, the announcement is just that next Monday there's a meetup, a data visualization meetup, and there will be two speakers, Eric Brodbeck from Stamen, right? and me. Okay, we will be featuring projects, etc. So you are of course invited. This is my website here, moebio.com, and here you have in the bottom the link to the meetup page. Okay, so you are invited, and this is my website. It's quite new, and okay, I wanted to show you very quickly this widget. I'm very proud. It's a ternary diagram, and you can go from one tag to another, so you can see all my projects, or my favorite, or the recent, or a combination in these three categories, or you can choose other different, other tags such as science, math, and networks. So again, you can explore my framework that way. Okay. So that's all.